Hello students, today we are covering lesson 3.3 on solving equations using addition and subtraction. Follow along in your books on page 98. Our key idea for today is addition property of equality, and it says that adding the same number to each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. So if A equals B, then A plus C equals B plus C. The subtraction property of equality says about the same thing, but the opposite. Subtracting the same number from each side of an equation produces an equivalent equation. So if A equals B, then A minus C also equals B minus C. So take a moment and copy down the key ideas. Okay, let's start with example 1, solving equations on page 98. To solve x minus 5 equals negative 1, we need to begin by trying to isolate our variable x so we can figure out what the value of x is. Now, first I would like you to estimate. Think what number minus 5 will give us negative 1. So I want you to take your guess first and think about that for just a moment. Now I would like to teach you how to solve the equation. So first we write the equation down. X minus 5 equals negative 1. To isolate the variable, we use the addition property of equality, which says that if I add the same thing to both sides of the equation, the parts will still be equal to each other. Since I want to isolate x, I need to get rid of the minus 5 next to it. So to do that, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. Okay. Negative 5 and positive 5 will cancel out to 0. So the only thing I need to bring down is this x. X equals negative 1 plus 5 is 4. So I think x equals 4. Now I'm going to go back to my original equation to check my work. And here's how I check. I substitute the value of x into the original equation. Since x equals 4, I write 4 minus 5 equals negative 1. 4 minus 5 is negative 1, and negative 1 does equal negative 1. So we've checked our work and we are correct. For b, we're going to solve it the same way. But this time, we have z plus 3 over 2 equals 1/2. Since z is being added by 3/2, to undo the addition, we use the subtraction property of equality, which says if we subtract the same amount to both sides of the equation, those parts will still be equal to each other. So 3/2 minus 3/2 cancels out to 0. So I'm left with z equals 1/2 minus 3/2. They have a common denominator. 1 take away 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 over 2 equals negative 1. So my solution is z equals negative 1. We can go back and check. Negative 1 plugged back into the original equation. I'm going to just erase this work to give us some more room. Negative 1 plus 3/2 should equal 1/2. I'm going to rewrite negative 1 as negative 2 over 2 to get a common denominator. And I bring everything else down. Negative 2 plus 3 is positive 1. So 1/2. 1/2 does equal 1/2. And we've checked our work. We are correct. At this time, I would like you to check on your own numbers 1 through 3, solve the equations, and work it out. Pause the video to complete these 3 problems. Okay, example 2 begins on page 99, how to write an equation. It says a company has a profit of $750 this week. This profit is $900 more than the profit P last week. Which equation can we use to find P? So for this equation, I'm going to transfer what I know in words into algebra. So it says the profit this week, I'm going to let P stand for profit. The profit this week is 900 more than last week. So the profit this week is $750 which is stated right there in this beginning part. So $750 is equal to $900 more than what they received last week. So if we added the amount they got last week plus $900, it would equal the profit this week. So to solve, we don't even have to solve it actually, because the question just wants us to write an equation. And if you look, B is the best answer. So the profit is equal to the amount last week plus the $900 more than what we had. So I hope that helps you write your equation. And now I would like you to try number 4 on your own. Pause the video to complete number 4. Example 3 is our real life application on page 99. And it says, the line graph shows the scoring while you and your friend played a video game. Write and solve an equation to find your score after level 4. So if we look at the graph, you are the green line, and your friend is the blue line. And it asks us to look for level 4. So here's the levels. And I see level 1, 2, 3. Here's level 4 right there. Now, if you look at level 4, your friend has -8. There's a difference of 33 points between your friend and your score up here. So we need to write and solve an equation. Let's say your friend's score is equal to the difference between your score. I'm going to say S equals your score. -8 is equal to your score minus the 33 points. Because if we start up here, if we call this S minus 33 will equal -8. Now to solve this, we can use the addition property of equality. So I'm going to isolate the variable S. To do that, instead of subtracting 33, I'm going to do the opposite, which is add 33 to both sides. -8 plus 33, they have different signs, so subtract. The difference is +25. And these two will cancel out to 0, so I'm left with 25 equals S. So that means our score was 25 points. On your own, I'd like you to solve number 5 and tell me what would happen if you had -12 points after level 1. Your score is 27 points less than your friend's score. So what is your friend's score? So I'd like you to try to work that out. Pause the video and answer that question. And then I would like you to complete the exit ticket questions, number 6 through 8. You have 2 equations to solve, and then I want you to describe and correct the error for number 8. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.